Hello, everyone. It is Friday, May 22nd. Welcome to K-Pause, where we talk only about the good stuff. The whole idea is for us to learn something, to be inspired, and to take something of value to ponder for the day. So what am I sharing with you today as far as something I've learned? Some of you might have learned this as well. There's a woman in San Francisco. Her name's Lindsay, and she's 25. And a couple of years ago, she went to get her cell phone number, and she was given, not knowingly so, I don't think, by anyone, but from AT&T, she was given Elon Musk's old cell phone number. And she started, after she got her number and her cell phone, she started getting these text and phone calls from people all over the world thinking that they were getting in touch with Elon Musk. Some guy in Saudi Arabia, I think, wanted to order 1,000 Teslas. And she got a text from somebody that had just gotten their new Tesla, and they wanted to let Elon know what they thought about that, and all kinds of other things from people that supposedly had his cell phone number, his old cell phone number at one point in time. So I thought that was pretty interesting. How would you like to be old Lindsay? You could probably have some fun with that. She says a lot of times people don't believe that they're not actually getting in touch with Elon. They think that she might be an assistant or heading up his foundation or something. So anyway, I thought I'd share that with you. I thought that was something that I otherwise wouldn't have known about. And so what's our inspirational story today? Do you guys remember and maybe he still does it, I just haven't watched it for a long time, On the Road with Steve Hartman, where he goes somewhere in the United States and he finds an inspiring person, an inspiring story, and he shares it on, I think it's CBS News. Well, I just watched this video where he talks about this fellow in Dallas, Texas. His name is Curtis Jenkins. Curtis is a school bus driver. He loves being a school bus driver, and his kids love him. He goes and picks up all these kids in the neighborhood. I'd say these kids are they're little. They're probably anywhere from 6 to 10 years old. And what he's done is he's made the school bus as if it's the company that they all run. And he's given all of these little kids responsibility. There's a president, there's a policeman, and there's an administrative assistant, and all kinds of other things. So they've kind of got this real dynamic org chart, right? And he picks all the kids up, and he gets to the school, and before he opens the door to let kids off to go to school, he gets on the microphone, the bus thing, announcing mechanism, and he teaches these kids their daily lesson. So he'll say, I want everybody to go out there and just make sure you take care of one another and you love each other. And if you see that somebody looks like they might be struggling a little bit, take time to sit down and talk with them and see if they're okay. And then he opens the doors and he actually walks all of them to their classrooms, so he makes sure they're in good hands. Then in the afternoon, he swings back around and he picks them up and drops them off at home. And over the years, this Curtis Jenkins has purchased some of these kids' bikes and backpacks and things that they really need. Some of them come from very unfortunate family situations. There's one little boy that considers him his father figure in his life. These kids just love him. And so after they shared this story on the news, an anonymous donor got in touch with the superintendent of the school where Curtis drives his bus and donated a vehicle to Curtis. And then the superintendent also made him kind of the head of teaching all the other teachers and administrators how to build good rapport with these kids and students. And I thought, what a great story. And they interviewed him and he said, you know what, you can take the car, you can take all the money, you can take it all. My pay is the love I get from these little kids. What a good guy, huh? Great story. I'll put the link to the YouTube video in the show notes so you can go and have a look for yourself. I thought it was great. What do I want to share with you today as far as a tip or something to ponder? It's actually out of my book, Keep Your Ass in the Saddle. I wrote this. And I just closed my eyes this morning and said, what do you want me to share with people? And I randomly opened the book and I came to this pause and reflect. In my book, I did these pause and reflect sections so the reader could take some time to stop and think about some things that are going on in their own life and think about how maybe some of what I went through and some of the advice and tips that I give might help them in their own life. And I came to this one today. To pre-frame it a little bit, it's when I was injured in college and I could no longer play sports. And I really had a difficult time with my identity, because up until that time, I really identified myself as this athlete. And so this is part of what I wrote in the pause and reflect section of my book. Here we go. What I knew for sure was that I had to keep moving forward. Stepping into the days ahead with naivete was part of the process of becoming. It is times like this when we discover, develop, and deepen who we are. It gives us the chance to embrace the impermanence of our identity, because it can and will change. It provides us with the occasion to adjust and adapt and grow. It is an invitation to give ourselves some grace. Life is dynamic, and our biggest challenge and opportunities lie in finding harmony in the movement and perceived chaos that comes our way. It is what we gain from these occurrences that becomes the wind beneath our wings as we walk through each day. The remarkable thing about life is that we get to change and adapt and grow. And it is often the most perplexing, painful, and confusing events that render the ultimate prospects for advancement. And I wanted to share that with you today, particularly as we're going through the last several weeks of a kind of universal timeout. I know it's been challenging for some of us. I know there's been a lot of struggle. There's been a lot of adjustment. There's been a lot of need to pivot in our lives. And I thought that little pause and reflect would give some valuable insight into how we may want to look at this time that we're going through together. So that's why I wanted to share it with you today. If you've already read my book, thank you for the support. If you haven't, you can get it on Amazon. And if you do read it and have the time to do a review, I would really appreciate that. And if you've already done a review, thanks so much. I do appreciate it. And until I see you again, have a kick-ass day, a kick-ass weekend. Make sure you take good care of yourselves and put a smile on a face today, including your own. Take care. Bye-bye.